Be upfront about the Highlander. I've always considered it a sort of like nothing vehicle, in the sense that there was nothing really special about it. Aside from Toyota's undeniable reputation for quality and reliability, the Highlander never really had much going for it. And to be honest, not to spoil the ending of the video, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the regular Highlander over something like the Kia Telluride. But this hybrid model is a different story, and it's definitely not a nothing vehicle. Before we get to the good stuff, let's talk about the Highlander styling, because that's going to be a point of contention for some people. Personally, I don't really like it from some angles, but Mrs. Jax disagrees.
As I usually do.
She generally likes the way the Highlander looks, although she would prefer the Kia Telluride to pretty much any other vehicle in the segment.
Yeah, but I want my Expedition, King Ranch edition.
I think its most successful angle is really sort of the rear 3/4 view, and to be fair, there's only so many ways that you can style a large 2-box 3-row crossover. The lighting elements, such as the LED headlamps, the various trim pieces, and the 20-inch wheels do help though. And the Highlander's not as visually bland as something like the Subaru Ascent or the Chevy Traverse, which are sort of like the automotive equivalent of plain Greek yogurt.
That doesn't make sense.
Underneath the hood is the Highlander Hybrid's party piece.
I don't see how that's a party.
A 243 horsepower 4-cylinder hybrid engine mated to a CVT transmission, shuffling power between the gasoline engine and 3 electric motors in all-wheel drive models such as this one. The Highlander Hybrid still uses nickel metal hydride batteries instead of lithium-ion ones because of sciencey reasons that sciencey science really hard. Because science. Yes, science. But basically it boils down to like cost, size, and efficiency. You know, like facts, the kinds of things that you determine from science. Because science is cool and we should trust science. Wear a mask, please. These facty facts and engineering gymnastics result in a 3-row SUV that gets 35 miles per gallon in the city and up to 34 miles per gallon on the highway. Front-wheel drive models get about 1 mile per gallon more in each measurement. We saw an average of about 31 miles per gallon over the course of our week. That's mainly because our daily commute is very short, and we never went on any longer trips, which would have raised the mileage significantly. Still, 31 miles per gallon in very short trip stop-and-go traffic is pretty impressive for an SUV of this size. In short, this is a fantastic powertrain. Nobody does hybrid powertrains like Toyota, and there's literally no negative trade-off for choosing the hybrid model. There's nothing about the day-to-day operation or the driving dynamics that feels affected in a bad way. Cargo capacity is still basically the same as every other Highlander model. The larger battery compared to the RAV4 also means that the Highlander is in sort of EV mode for longer periods of time, which is pretty impressive. I could almost make it out of our neighborhood without the gasoline engine ever firing up. And the CVT transmission operates so fluidly that you even forget it's there. It just sort of magically wafts the vehicle along. You would certainly never guess that it was handling so many powertrain inputs. I mean, it's literally shuffling constantly between the gas engine and 3 electric motors. And it's imperceptible. It's imperceptible. I used to teach English. It's a brilliant and thoughtfully engineered powertrain, and it turns a good vehicle, which the regular Highlander is, into a great vehicle that competes at the top of the class. And that greatness extends into the interior. Sure, the design is a bit busy with a plethora of materials, as if one of the designers said, how many materials should we include? And another designer, we'll call him Gary, said, all kidding aside, the material quality and the fit and finish is superb in this Platinum Edition Highlander, which you would expect from Toyota. And everywhere your hand falls is quality feeling leather, or fake leather as the case may be, which feels equally convincing. The seats and the steering wheel feel especially good, and a lot of attention has been paid to extend the soft touch materials well below the belt line where they're out of sight, and honestly the graining of the plastic looks really good. I don't particularly love the sort of brown on brown plus black plus metal plus everything else kind of trim in this model, but if you went with more of a monochrome sort of interior, I think it would look really good. The seats themselves are intercontinental comfortable. They are fantastic for long trips. I wouldn't be surprised if they were basically the same seats in the Toyota Avalon. And Brightwork, sort of metal and fake metal, has been liberally sprinkled throughout the cabin to kind of liven things up a little bit. It looks really good. I especially like sort of the fake texture applied to the fake metal plastic. I know that sounds like a dig, but it's not. It looks nice. I also think the fake wood looks pretty good. I just don't necessarily think that you need all of it together. A little restraint, Toyota, just a little restraint. And then there's the technology, and this Highlander Platinum is loaded with Toyota's very best technology. First is the 12.3-inch touchscreen at the top of the dash, which is super bright and super easy to use. You can display your climate control, your navigation, and your audio settings all at the same time. And they can be shuffled side to side between the driver and the passenger so that both people up front have easy access to whatever functions they're trying to access during a trip. It's brilliant. Seriously, that's an ingenious touch. If you're gonna have a 12.3-inch wide screen that's only a touch screen with no redundant controls in the center console, having the ability to kind of sweep it side to side for whoever wants to access the audio inputs is a wonderful idea. Every single touchscreen that's this big, because you know all of them are now, because it's just like touchscreen one-upsmanship thanks to Tesla, all of them should have this feature, including Tesla. Wait, does Tesla have this feature? I honestly don't know. I'm gonna check into that. If you drive a Tesla or own a Tesla, can you switch things on the screen from driver to passenger? The Highlander comes with the expected enormous panoramic moonroof because, you know, that's sort of de rigueur. How do you say that, de rigueur?
De rigueur.
Well, I keep saying all these things I don't know how to say. That's sort of expected in vehicles of this price point and category. And it also has a rear view mirror camera in case your view out the back is obstructed by luggage or children's heads. I don't know, maybe your kids have big heads. Mine don't. I mean, sort of. Are they gonna watch this? And while the wireless charging system does eat into center console space a bit, I kind of like its placement here between the driver and the passenger. It's super convenient, and I personally would gladly trade a few cubic, well, not even feet, like cubic inches of console space for such a convenient wireless charging system that, as an added bonus, can charge your phone sort of out of sight, out of mind, in case you leave it in the car or something. The JBL audio system sounds great, and there's Wi-Fi and up to 5 USB ports for people who don't share your taste in music. Of course, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Amazon Alexa integration are all here as well, as is a crisp and clear head-up display that provides relevant information. From the myriad storage cubbies to the first-rate technology to the premium feel of the interior materials, the Highlander's interior is equal to the class-leading Telluride's in sort of interior ambiance, even if it's missing a few of the Telluride's sort of wow techno features like the turn signal cameras. In an automotive landscape of ever-increasing prices, this Telluride's interior feels like it's worth the price, which is $52,200. Personally, this interior feels up to it.
And the Highlander will protect your investment as well, because it comes with Toyota's excellent Safety Sense 2.0 suite, which features pre-collision braking with low-light pedestrian detection, dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure with steering assist, lane tracing assist, auto high beams, road sign assist, as well as blind spot monitoring and parking assist with rear cross traffic alert. High-definition cameras point in every direction too, so you always know what's going on around you. It's rumored that Safety Sense 3.0 will come with the Kinetic Intelligent Toyota Tactical Safety System.
Deny everything.
I can't wait to test that, especially if it has turbo boost.
So what about practicality?
Practically perfect in every way.
Well, unfortunately, the Highlander is only really average in this respect, swallowing only 16 cubic feet of cargo behind the third row compared to the Telluride's 21 cubic feet behind the third row. The situation gets better with the third row folded, however, with the Highlander improbably swallowing 48 cubic feet behind the second row seats compared to the Telluride, which can only handle 46 cubic feet. I'm not really sure how that works out, but stats. From a passenger standpoint, both SUVs are spacious in the second row captain's chairs, but the third row is where the Telluride pulls ahead. The Highlander's third row is noticeably more cramped than some of its competitors, and the Telluride provides a little bit more room in its third row. As Mrs. Jax will now demonstrate, that the third row is really only suitable for children.
This is not made for people who are 5'9". You can't see, but my legs are like, my knees are like up to into my chest. So, this is not made for actual real-life humans back here. Maybe very tiny humans, but not humans that are 5'9".
Both the Honda Pilot and Chevy Traverse are much larger in most interior sort of cargo carrying measurements and in passenger space. So if it's outright space and cargo carrying ability that you're looking for, the Highlander is going to suffer when compared to those two vehicles in particular. But it does have a foot-waving rear automatic hatch that usually works. I'm just kidding. It always works when you know you have it unlocked and the key in your pocket and stuff like that, which we found out through trial and error. I never said we were the smartest testers in the world. I think Mrs. Jax would disagree. I'm pretty much the dumb one.
Hello. Today we're driving the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Like I said, I'm not a little SUV person. I like the big ones, but I really like this one. I normally think of the Toyota Highlander as like a grandma car, probably because Jack's mom has one. Sorry, mother-in-law. So I always just felt like it was kind of an old lady looking car, and this new styling, it looks really good. I would totally drive this car. It's been very comfortable, very fun to drive for the week. This screen right here is like the size of like the state of Texas, so that's really cool. It's really, I don't know, intuitive, easy to use, all the stuff makes sense to me. The cooled seats that are running right now, because normally we have to do this with no air conditioning and no cooled seats because any sound will ruin the perfect video that Jax is making. But these cooled seats can actually keep going because they're pretty quiet. In the, I guess it was a Mazda we drove, and the cooled seats were so loud I thought something was wrong with the car, but fear not, these are perfect. I like the heads-up display. You know, I love a good heads-up display. It's got the eco stuff, which I don't really know what any of that means, and I don't really notice a difference, but I think that's probably good, right? Because I'm saving the environment and I don't even know I'm doing it. So there's that. The lane assist is nice and gentle. In the, oh, maybe it was the Lincoln, if you like went the wrong, like accidentally crossed the lane, it would like yell at you and scream, and you got too close to people and it screamed at you, and it was very stressful for me. But this is like a gentle, like, get in the right lane, lady. And I like that. So I do like the lane assist. What else did I like? Oh, there's like a charging thing for your phone right here. There's the nice charge cord. There's all sorts of like fun little intuitive places that you can put your phone. Is intuitive the right word there? Oh, this thing, my rearview mirror is like a camera. So that's totally cool. Like right now, I'm seeing a camera of what's behind me, which is awesome. Jack says that was in some other car, but he never told me that, so I didn't know. So this is the only car I've seen with that. And hang on, I felt like, was there something else? Or did I get all the fun things that I thought? But I would totally drive this car. I really, really like it. My kids loved it. It's got the bucket seats back there, which the kids really liked. There was no fighting over, you're touching me. And the leather feels great. All the interior stuff looks great, feels great. It's got lots of cup holders everywhere. I like that it actually has a normal gear shift. Is that what it's called? Because some of the like knobby things and all the, I don't know, that seems like a little fancy for my take, but so I really like that just regular old gear shift. Yeah, I think I can't really think of anything. I love it. I love it. I love the big sunroof. That's great. The rear view, all the backup cameras are really good. And like I said, the kids like it. It's comfortable and can't go wrong. I don't think. I would totally drive this car. Not my mother-in-law's, but this one, this new styled one. Totally. So one more thing I forgot is that, and it also just made me think of this because we pulled in, the parking brake turns on and off automatically. So no more forgetting the parking brakes on and driving out and wondering why your car feels funny. Not that I've ever done that, right, honey?
No.
But it goes on automatically when you park, and then when you put it in reverse, automatically off. Probably my favorite feature.
I don't really have much to add to Mrs. Jax's assessment of the driving experience, other than the Highlander drives in a very cohesive way. That sort of purity of purpose is evident when you're behind the wheel. The steering is a bit light, and the power is, adequate in this hybrid powertrain, but the body control is quite good, and the suspension never verges on floaty. It's comfortable, but it never wallows in that way that I intensely dislike. It feels good, it feels cosseting, and it's very smooth and very fluid. The brake pedal feel is superlative in this class of vehicle, and it's even more impressive when you consider that this is a hybrid. And many hybrids, especially, that have aggressive regenerative braking like this one does, have sort of artificial wooden, kind of spongy feeling brakes. This brake pedal feel is fantastic. It has a sort of aggressive regen, so when you let off the brake, it decelerates rather quickly. And the brake pedal feel itself is progressive and linear, and it feels awesome. I know it's weird to sort of wax poetic about brake pedal feel, but I would argue that this Highlander Hybrid has better brake pedal feel than some of the regular Toyotas I've driven recently. It's a very well-engineered system that works with all of the other many things that are going on simultaneously in this car. It also has Toyota's dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive system in case for some reason you want to take this thing off-road, and it has terrain select in case you take it off road so far you need to select what kind of terrain you're driving over. In addition to that, it also has selectable drive modes. I left it in normal the entire time. Eco really dulls the throttle response and makes it sort of not fun to drive. And sport is sport mode, it's just dumb. Just leave it in normal mode. It can also be switched to pure EV mode in case you want to drive around for a mile like you're driving a Tesla or something. Honestly, just leave it in normal mode and drive with a light foot, enjoy the regenerative braking, and this is a delightful car to drive every day. So should you buy this over something like a Kia Telluride? Yes and no. Let me explain. See, in this hybrid trim, I think the Highlander makes a case for itself because it's offering you something that the Telluride doesn't offer at all. Real-world savings at the gas pumps because its 10 mile per gallon sort of average advantage will pay off in your ownership experience. But that advantage is somewhat negated by the fact that this fully loaded platinum hybrid all-wheel drive Highlander costs $52,200, which is $4 or $5 grand more than a comparably equipped Kia Telluride. I personally would argue that if you factor in the Toyota's superior infotainment and their reputation for quality and reliability, you could somewhat call it a wash. However, the Telluride still offers little gimmicks like the side view turn signal cameras, a heated and cooled second row captain's chairs, and a more usable third row. The Telluride is also better looking than the Highlander in my eyes, and Mrs. Jax actually agrees with me on that point.
I actually do agree with you.
In the end, I think the Highlander Hybrid is a compelling alternative to the class-leading Telluride, especially in its lower trim levels where the savings might be more apparent. But I don't think I would feel the same way about a regular Highlander. It just wouldn't feel special enough. It wouldn't feel as though it was offering you anything beyond the traditional three-row SUV experience, which, to be quite honest, simply isn't good enough anymore in this most competitive class of vehicles. But this excellent hybrid model proves that a mundane family vehicle can be elevated by clever engineering, and for that reason, it's absolutely worth a look.
Hey, look, a bunny. I can't get out and show him to you because he'll run away, but there's bunnies all over this park, and hawks. you'd think those two things would be mutually exclusive. God, will that dog shut up? Freaking dog. Oh, Jesus, you're driving around with a dog hanging out the window. God, take it to the dog park.